Hi everyone, welcome back to this week Weekly Market Update. So market is getting very exciting right now because due to the volatility in the market, right? The whipsaw in the markets, like what we can see on last Friday, most of the index actually closed at the green side. After the day before, there's a huge drop, hitting 1,000 points, and yesterday climbed up to 800 points. It's the best day since 2020. So it's getting volatile. Main reason is because of this Russia-Ukraine war. Everyone out there should be knowing what's going to happen. But of course, like I always emphasize, that market is always one step ahead. So, what happened? Let's talk about what happened first, all right? Because I'm always forward looking. So, what happened if, let's say, this Russia-Ukraine war is over? Of course, we know that if you have been catching news, reading up on news, this we can see that a lot of news going on that the missile is flying here and there between Russia and Ukraine right now. But of course, it will definitely come to an end, right? Because Europe will step in, China will step in, US might step in, but ultimately, right, these all things just create volatility in the market. Yes, definitely the war is ongoing. Yes, but that impact shouldn't be that huge in the US side because I think it's not a direct impact instead. All right, this is just a personal opinion. All right, it's not direct impact because if you can look at what happened to the Russian market based on the index itself, right, we can see that the Russian market actually dropped, almost 40% by itself on a few days. All right, we can see. So what happened on the Russia index when the war came in? So from 3,400 over here, drop all the way low to 1007. It's almost 50% cut. All right, almost 50% cut. People who bought at a 50% right now, you are like 1,000, maybe less than 1,000 points above, 800 points above. So that is that bad that you go back to where we started in 2017. We can see that is that low. All right, so that is what happened to the Russian market. So but for Dow itself, right, I think what are we expecting is the piece of, or the war over, and what is the market considering? We are back to the topic again. It's on the Fed rate. All right, it's on the Fed rate. So this is what happened with the stock market snapback. The focus shift to Powell. All right, from Putin to Powell, both start with P. All right, but two different things. Okay, Powell testimony and the job report, because we can see that right now everyone market remain to be volatile. All right, even though there's a bounce back, but we never know that the market is actually on the bull side or still at the bear side. All right, so the market is right now, after the war, after all the news, we buy based on rumor, right? Sell on news, so it might be over speculating. That's why the market dropped so badly. So right now, the focus shift on the Fed policy. All right, so the Fed policy, right? If you pay attention, I think it's coming on the mid of March, which I mentioned in my last video. I say that this is one of the things that we should be watching when the Dow Jones or the US index is actually trading on the sideways trend until it broke down due to the war, all right, due to the tension itself. So I think that is the big question remain on Fed whether to raise 50 basis point or the March to kick off its first round of interest rate hike since 2018. A basis point is equals to 0.01. That means it's 5%, 0.05%. All right. So whether it's a 50 basis point or 25 basis point, we wouldn't know. But I can say that the inflation rate is actually at a high side since I think very long ago lah. So you guys can read up. I can't remember the news. All right. So whether it's 25 or 50 basis point, a lot of analysts coming in. But right now, right, due to the tensions, I think the betting on the 50 basis point hike is actually dropped more onto the 25 basis point itself coming March. So this is what the market is actually paying attention for the next coming week. Where we head to. Of course, next week is just the start of the first March. We will still look at the data, the non-farm payroll, the unemployment rate, so on and so on. All right, so it's the first week of the month usually will come with all this data. So all this data will then tell us what is going to be like on the following week, which is the second week. Just nice. All right, everything just fall nicely. So so that is what they are looking at on next week itself. All right, so on the whipsaw itself, I don't really say because it's a past report, right? So market actually overreact due to the war. Right now it bounced back. A lot of shares. So if let's say you are long-term share investor, you shouldn't be panicking on this news itself because it's not the fundamental shift. It's just a temporary on the war crisis. Of course, the oil spike higher. Wherever there's war, the oil will go higher, right? The gold will be the safe haven. I shared in my Telegram group. Anyone managed to catch it when I mentioned it previously on my last video? All right. So what happened? So let's take a look on gold. Today I just jump here and there. All right, so this is what we look at gold. I say that this is last week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are around here. We break up, but previously I already mentioned, right? I bet on it. So it break. I say that if all right, remain biased on the upside, break above 1930, we may see the next level at 2000. All right, it break above, but based on the day candlestick, it closed below 1930. If you realize. Alright, if you realize added the following day. Alright, so right now, where is gold? Are we going back to all-time high again? Yes. For my bet, it's just a pullback first. Because this is too long, right? A pullback first, then we might see another round of upside. Alright, another round of upside. Okay, so that's my view. I still remain biased on the upside, but of course, if you enter at a high, then just be watch out because your stop loss is not that perfect, right? So I want to wait for a neutral level for you to enter in again. All right, so that's my view on gold remain. I shared this image in my Facebook page. So if you have followed, hopefully you grab somehow and you cover your long positions. Try not to hold it over the weekends, especially right now we're having a high tension at the Ukraine side, right? So the next counter, uh, the next thing, yes. So this is what it will soon be time to raise the interest rate. All right, this is very interesting. So we can see that the hottest inflation since 1982. Right, since 1982, right now we are at the hottest inflation. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so I did put up the news, not just that I come out from nowhere. All right, so you guys can read up. Okay, so whether Fed he himself already repeat that it will soon be time to raise the interest rate. It's just that whether it's 25 or 50, like I mentioned again. All right, 25 or 50. Yeah, the meeting is on the 15 March or 16 March. All right. So next, before I go in officially to individual chart, couple of things just want to bring to attention as well. One is the one that we will be looking at the chart later. It's called Up Fund, which I mentioned. I'm paying strong, closely monitor lah. Basically, closely monitor on this art funds is because right they used to be the best performers, like I said, and couple of the shares they are holding, I'm like kind of interested. And then we can actually go to their website. We can see that there's many arts funds, right? So firstly, we start with this art innovation ETF. Year to date return minus down 20%. So to me, if let's say you're long-term perspective, you agree with what this Katie Wood, her visions, granted, you should actually go into it as well on a long-term basis, not on speculating. But right now, why I'm looking into it is because it actually flow to the lowest point where it touches 60 during the spike low of the Dow Jones on the Thursday itself. All right. So it actually bring to my attention at the $60. I will show you guys the chart why as well. And also, right, because couple of the counter that you hold, right, is actually I'm very keen on it as well. Tesla, long-term investment, right? They are holding 8%. Coinbase, which I'm looking at right now. We know that Bitcoin is coming down. Russia is one of the coin miner, if I'm not top three, if I'm not wrong, right? So due to the war, coins are suffering. Of course, um, there's opportunity out there due to this kind of circumstances of war, right? Just like COVID also bring another opportunity if you pick those good company at the low side. True or not? So that's why I'm actually into the up fund right now. putting into my watch list, and then I'll continue to monitor. And not only that, on Wednesday, Arkk actually buy more couple of shares like Coinbase, which I mentioned again, uh, uh, Roblox, a lot of like JD basically, and it unloads a couple of shares like Twitter and PLTR. Like Palantir is one of the counter I monitor closely. When it dropped below 10, it give me a good highlight, just a bell ring, so to watch it. So people who get it at 10 might want to. It's a good price for you to do dollar averaging at 10 if you manage to enter this previously, or people who have not can just nimble a bit. It's a data mining company after all. All right, but do take note, interest rate hike might affect those debt company which are not in profit yet. All right, so want to take on this small counter, just be aware. Like Coinbase is one of them, right? Like what I mentioned, charge point is one of them previously as well. So without further ado, let's go into the chart itself. Right now, we will be looking at Dow Jones Index. So for Dow Jones Index, this is what I'm mentioning. So sorry, the market is actually trading sideways, right? Previously, like I mentioned, so many days, 34,000 to 35,400 trading here and there, trading here and there. All right. So market breakdown confirmed by one candlestick, second candlestick, third. And this point, right? If you zoom out, you can see that it's actually the 38% Fibonacci. All right. So can you see that it's actually at a 38.2% Fibonacci? Touch at the low point, bounce back nicely. All right, touch at the low point, bounce back nicely. So people who go into the intraday, shorter time frame to catch it, if you have a good risk reward, you put 38.2%. One is bounce back, you put at your stop loss. You are around 1,000 points. 1,000 points of profit away. All right, so people who catch it, watch out. But to me, right, I'm actually watching closely at 34,000 when it bounced. Like I didn't know that the close is so sharp. Why? Because this used to be a previous first support level, right? We can see it's at the 61.8% Fibo. Right now, to me, this level, all right, this level is actually at the uh this level is actually more on the resistance level right now. Okay, so this level is previously is the support. Right now it turned resistant. So I'm looking whether the market will come down, bounce back, then it come down again or not. All right, because interest rate hike, right? Like I say, so right now this 34,000 is crucial. Of course, it might have somewhere here waiting for the moving average to catch. We wouldn't know. All right, but this zone is kind of like important for you to monitor. If it fail to break above the moving average and continue break below 34,000 by next 1 or 2 week, we will still remain on the downside. All right, so that is my call for Dow Jones. Same goes to S&P and even for Nasdaq. All right, next counter is actually on uh, small cap Russell. Okay, so Russell, interesting. Can you see that? Used to be very strong support since 2021. All right, support, resistant. Come down. It bounced back closely, but don't have choice to go up. It must close here. Correct or not? Then we are back on track. So right now, this level will be how the market is going to play. That what I foresee. We will know, but we just see. It should be playing around here. Okay, the moment it break, there is a red flag. We should actually watch out. Okay, otherwise it should be around here. Okay, so that is my view on Russia 2000, the small cap. Next counter, we will be going into Arkk first last since I talk about Arkk funds. All right, so Arkk fund, I've charted 0 to 100% Fibonacci, retrace to 23.6%. Can you see now why I'm paying so close attention on the Thursday itself? It break below the $60. All right, the round figure, it break below the 23.6%, but then it opened low, close higher. All right, so it closed higher the 60, close higher the 23.6%. So this is what I first monitor. Of course, we are still at the downtrend lah. All right, we are still at the downtrend, but people who actually entered here, this is the first point to do dollar averaging. That's what I feel lah. All right, so for me, I also nimble a bit if you want to. For me, I personally nimble a bit at 23.6%. So I don't know if you go below, I just cut. That's all. It's all about my risk appetite. Previously, I'm actually looking at $50 lah. I'm more more biased on the downside, but right now, it's all depend on what will happen on 2 weeks later. Okay, especially they are holding mostly on the tech counter itself. All right, so next counter we will be going into actually is DKNG. DKNG gap down due to the bad news, right? So this is what I talk about it. So support is at 24. We go below. This is very long ago. This is very long ago, okay, guys. This is very long. This is somewhere here in the January. All right, we got stop out right now below. The market cover the gap. We can see that it's covered the gap. So we still actually following the trend line of the 40-day moving average. Have not break first. All right, he has not break first. So people who are more on fundamental long-term news want to pick it up on this betting sports betting company. Is one of the good level for you to go into it. All right, I think Up Funds is also holding one of this company as well. So next, I mentioned just, but I never draw the chart. When I say war, right, usually when war, I always look at this counter, Lockheed Martin, because it's actually produce rocket, right? War, you need rocket. I'm not trying to be sarcastic because there's war out there. I'm just being a friend speaking what happened to this kind of company, because a lot of speculation will come into play when the war come in. All right, so when the war come in, they think that the revenue for this company is good, so it's actually spike up. All right, previously go up, sideways, go up, so it's like a flag here. Okay, so this is what I feel. I didn't know, just by touch on it, it eventually break up. I did enter on this counter, but just a counter for me to monitor how it performs during the wartime. All right, just like case study itself. So next thing we are actually going to next counter, we actually look into Pfizer. Why? Because it seems like there's opportunity here previously, which I mentioned, right? So go up, which is good. We know that COVID vaccines, everything, right? Right now, pull back. All right, supported by 200-day moving average. Okay, supported by 200-day moving average. So looking at the weekly chart, we can see that the price from the 0% FIBO to 100%, just nice, the market closed a doji candle at the 50% FIBO. All right, at the 50% FIBO. So next week, all right, this is just a caution play. It might actually be supported by the first 40 days moving average. All right, supported, close trade nicely. If we see a good candle next week, all right, next week, then we may continue see higher for Pfizer. That is why I assume, all right, it's all about risk management. That's why it's called probability, right? That's why I name myself as probability. Correct or not? Previously, this eventually hit my TP. Sorry or not? In October, I mentioned 24 October is somewhere here lah. Right, somewhere here. It hit 45, it hit 47, so people will hold on to it. Congrats to you. Right now, it pulled back. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for Pfizer. Is there any counter? Let me see. All right, I'm going to say one more. One last one is actually on Coinbase. Just now I talked about it, right? Coinbase is interesting. Previously, I mentioned many times already, since August, I look at it. I believe I got profit previously if you follow me long enough. For those who didn't, then it's okay. Start following right now. So here is actually, I mentioned 200. All right, it's a good support. After you break below, right now we are actually at the bottom side. Okay, for Coinbase, right? They actually announced their earnings last week. It's doing good. All right, it's doing good. All right, it's a surprise. It's doing more than what they estimated. So, but the thing that the market dropped because of the cryptocurrency drop. True or not? So people who like to nimble, all right, people who want to buy into the future, you guys can nimble right now, because due to the war it come down, right? That is the biggest low, right? Some people, if you look at the analysts, they say that it's a dip that you can buy in. Some people say that it's not over yet, don't buy during this dip. It's up to individual. What is your view on it? I don't have chart to show where is the low, but I can say that this candle is actually due to the war itself. All right, if let's say it closed below this candle, it should continue to go down. So we should put our first support level at this level then, due to the war itself. All right, 160 if you want for the round figure. Okay, so watch out, people who into Coinbase for long-term perspective, then you have your own strategy. Okay, so that's all for my this week weekly market update. I'm not going into it because it's almost 20 minutes. Continue to monitor my, continue to watch my video, join my public Telegram group. So because war sometimes come into play, I need to highlight directly. I will go into the Telegram group itself. All right, so that's all. If you haven't liked my video, haven't liked my Facebook page, please share a like as well, or share to your friend as well. So hopefully everyone will benefit from it. That's all. Thank you everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.